Okay, so I'm getting a little flack for interviewing a man who was not charged with sexual assault, who is being blamed for sexual assault with a minor, and people are already threatening his life. People are already being evil because they are projecting their evil and basically saying it's him. Don't get me wrong. If he's done something wrong, I would call that out. During my interview, I actually somewhat had a plan to get his side, and if it did not correlate with the police report, I would have called it out. But the fact that he didn't know I had the police, or I had spoke with the police, and it all turned out okay ish. He still got to go through court, and I also put out there, please, if the other party would like to talk, I'd more than willing. A lot of people said it looked bad ish. I don't know if they're talking about, like, I do actually have a studio here, but at the time, and still probably as of this moment, I am not ready to bring somebody to my studio where I live, but I am willing to meet them somewhere else and do the best I can with what I have to get the word out there. Now, some of the things that has been mentioned in some of this, and let me get it pulled up here. And I do want to bring this up because this is actually one of the reasons why I really feel like a POS for not jumping in this sooner. Right here, I had posted, somebody said that I'm supporting pedophiles and some other stuff. And I said, this is false. Last year I tried to interview, he was talking that I was at a Roe v. Wade protest, and I was trying to interview people from both sides. Like I say here, this is false. Last year I tried to interview people from both sides. One side would talk and the other side would cuss and block me. I'm not religious. This is what civil discourse looks like. Hearing things even when you don't like it. Keep being the judge, jury, and Führer. Now, the person, it's a troll account. Okay. Troll accounts are this whole, we all know what troll accounts are. And then when actually confronted in person, it's, I just playing. They're hiding behind they try to play it off. I'm just playing. Behind a false persona. That's the only reason they even open their mouth is because they have a false persona out there that will take all the flack whenever they can just delete the account and actually still be them and pretend like nothing ever happened if they ever needed something from the people that they are ridiculing. And they said, you're a liar. You literally had an abortion pro-life video playing in public. You clearly had chosen a side and have now decided to cash in. There is no cash in what I'm doing right now. Maybe if I'd started it back then, maybe, but I highly doubt it. This is just me trying to have civil discourse with my community and grow and work things out. Make whatever name for yourself on the backs of abused children. That's pretty harsh for somebody who is hiding behind nothing. I mean, they don't have a profile picture. It's a cartoon with a fake name. I've even had multiple people reach out and say, hey, that's probably this person. I've had fake accounts reach out to me and say, hey, this fake account is this fake account from a fake account. And all in all, I don't care who it is. I would still love, and I did reach out to say, hey, let's have a sit-down discussion. Let's talk about this. And all they did was, no, they refused. I'll probably put that up here somewhere as well. One of the things that I did around the time of that Roe v. Wade protest, and this is why I'm actually going to go on ahead and start digging my heels into the ground on where I stand, is because during the protest back then, a few people were willing to talk and actually carry on a conversation. trying to convince me to just pick their side, and both sides kind of did that. Just pick my side because my side's right, your side's wrong. The end. So what I did was carry on conversation, and then one of the people had a kid going to school, and I have kids, or I did have kids that go to school. I homeschool now. I have a lot of family members that have kids that go to school here. I have a lot of friends that have kids that go to school here, and one thing that they all had in common was bullying, and they all had this horrible bullying story. So I started reaching out to other parents, and this is actually one of the I would say the pro-abortion side of that protest. I asked them, if you got kids going to school, are they getting bullied? Because I'd like to know. I'd like to know more about what's going on. We need to do something about this. If this is such a horrible, and I've heard some horrible things about the school, So I wanted to reach out and start having civil discourse on that, and start doing stuff like what I'm doing now back then. Well, whenever I asked if their kid was getting bullied and, is everything okay? They blocked me as well, which I kind of get, I guess. I told them at one point in time, hey, you got kids, I got kids. Let's go to the park and let all the kids bullshit together and do what kids do and get Pokemon of course I Pokemon Go at the time. That's where I met a lot of people in this town. But all in all, just have civil discourse and people start talking rather than just talking shit. So I kind of gave up on talking to people because every time it was just a dead end road. People block. And the few people, like I said, that do have kids that go to school, I wanted to corroborate the stories before I just run out there and start saying things. And then here we are in 2023, and something horrible has happened. And a 13-year-old has ended his own life. And that's sad. I'm not saying, I don't know what I'm saying when it comes to that. If I would have dug my heels in the ground then and say, hey, can somebody please, if you guys have a problem, please come to me. Let's put this out there to the public so we can get this handled rather than just talking shit behind a phone. Let's get it out there. Let's get together and let's start doing something about this instead of just bitching at each other and being at each other's throat. But back then, if I talked to somebody from the right, I was a fucking left-winger. If I talked to somebody from the left, I was a fucking racist right-winger. I'm a fucking fence sitter. I'll tell you that right now. When it comes to abortion, I believe in if the baby's viable and you still want an abortion, you're killing a baby. But the people that tell me, like, no, you have to allow abortions all the way. And that's, believe it or not, that's your side of the fight. It's 9 months or nothing. So if I have to pick 9 months or nothing, I'm going to choose nothing because at least we are saving some lives. But it's these people that say it's 9 months or nothing that are taking advantage of it. And, whenever 3% of them are the actual ones that, it's their health, it's rape victims, it's things of horrible things. That means the other 97% that are saying it's our right is taking the victims, the true victims, hostage and saying, you're hurting these people when we're just trying to stop the 97% of people who just do it carelessly. We couldn't even get along for our children. We couldn't. And now our children are going to suffer the consequences from it because they don't even see the adults coming together for them. A lot of people are saying that I'm protecting a pedophile. If I thought Benny was a pedophile, I'd let you know. But I've heard a lot of stories, and like I said, we cooperated with the police department. Now I'm calling out the bullies, the people that are like wanting to burn the witches. I'm calling the witch burners out. I'm saying, hey, give them a fucking minute. let this play out. Let's hear from both sides. And I've reached out to the other side. I haven't reached out. I've actually put it out there. If anybody knows from the other side, please reach out. I don't mind talking. Let's get your side. I don't mind getting both sides. But you got a lot of people so eager to be judge, jury, and executioner. As far as we know, this is just a big, simple misunderstanding. I don't know. We don't know, but we do know that Benny has deteriorated in health in the past few months. The guy's been homeless for over 2 years. And he's been somewhat fit up until 2 months ago-ish, maybe 3-4 months ago-ish. He's slowly deteriorating, and I've worked in the mental health field, so I recognize depression whenever I see it. The guy's falling, and nobody's helping him. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to protect a pedophile, and if I thought he was a pedophile, probably wouldn't be having this conversation. I just ignore it. But I'm not going to sit here and let other people just hound him and say, you need to be dead. That's what's happening. So when we start doing these things, we just need to start being subjective and stop persecuting each other. There are evil people in this place, and if you just call out everything that disagrees with you, you are part of that evil, because you're not looking for compromise. You're just looking, agree with me or else. And that's not the way it should be. Another thing I want to add to that boy who passed away, may he rest in peace. What do you think those kids would say, the ones that were bullying him? What do you think they'd say? Do you think, well, he deserved it? Or do you think they'd be like, I was just playing. I'm just playing. $13-year-old. It's a bad deal.